Hello and welcome to Rage House Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, The Condor. First, we head to Silicon Valley, where Chubbs Chug Jug took on the Bison in Paradise. But it turns out Bisons are unstoppable, and they bowled over a whole bunch of Silicon Valley executives on their way to a 122-97 victory. Whoop whoop! Next, we head to the other Silicon Valley. That's right, Shenzhen, China, where the Huawei Integrity took on Sequanset Hut. Tragically for the Integrity, they were unable to steal any technology today and fell up short, with Sequanset Hut putting up a huge performance on the back of Austin Eckler. Sequanset Hut 125, Integrity 101. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Next, we head upstate. No, I mean New York. That's right, Albany, New York, where the Yang Chang Gang took on the Big Trubisky. Tragically for the Trubiskys, Trubisky isn't the only one that sucked this season, as Juck's team is already in peril of being the worst team in the league in Week 1. Next, we head, that's right, Creamland, where the Cream Dogs put their cream all over the place and a huge win over Los Ingobernables. Los Ingobernables by Felipe's team were not a bad performance, but they fell way short as not one, not two, but three of Max's receivers put up over 20 points. Can anyone stop them? We'll find out. Whoop, whoop. Finally, we head to Philly, where the process is still ongoing, with Sam Hinkie's team putting together a solid performance over a tragic team in the Sticky Icky Sawickies. That's right. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Going around the league, Sam Hinkie won 121 to 191, and that's the week, folks. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. Welcome to week 2. Technically, it's week 1 for me, but, counting it as week 2 of fantasy football, Rage House, fantasy football. Let's take it around the league. So, that was my intro. Hope you guys liked it. I'll do it every week. If you guys do, I'll change it up. I stole that blatantly, obviously, from whatever that podcast is. You guys who have seen it before would know. Anyway, let's talk about the league a little bit. All right, week 1 went well for some people. It was a disaster for others. It was a very exciting first week of football. Got a lot to talk about. Before I dive into each individual team and talk about the upcoming week, first thing we need to discuss as a podcast and as a league is everyone's new names, right? No one's addressed them yet, all right? So let's go through the names one by one, say which ones are good, which ones are bad. Let's start off with the most obvious one, because I didn't even name Sawicki's team. I called it the Icky Sticky Sawickies, and I'm going to continue to refer it as that name until she changes her name to something decent, because I can't say that on this podcast. Obviously, it's inappropriate. So I'm going to stick with Icky Sticky Sawickies because it's much more appropriate for this podcast. The Icky Sticky Sawickies need to change their team name. They haven't changed it since last year, and we still don't know why it has that name, so it needs to be updated. That one goes, I'm putting like power rankings. I'm starting from the bottom and going up in terms of quality of team and name. So I'm starting there. Next place is Chubbs Chug Jug. I'm sorry, it also hasn't been updated, so automatically at the bottom of the list. It's not as bad as the Icky Sticky Swickies, but it's a pretty bad team name. Needs to be updated. I expect better quality moving forward, guys. This is an important thing, your team name, all right? You only have one chance every year to pull off a good team name. Next on the list, I think I'm going to have to go with the Big Trubisky. It's unoriginal. Trubisky's bad. The Bears' offense is bad. It's not very good pun. I don't really get it. Like, it's supposed to be the Big Lebowski, but I don't see why Trubisky has anything to do with Lebowski, so, okay. I guess Lebowski probably likes titties. I'm not sure. Anyway, moving up the board. Next, I gotta say Bison in Paradise comes in next. Don't really know what that has to do with anything, but I guess it's just like a classic Trout name. It gives me a chuckle because it's Trout, but only because it's Trout. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say about the bison in paradise. I don't really understand. It's the Bachelor in Paradise, but it's supposed to be bison in paradise. I guess that's the joke. But I don't know. Next, I'm going to put up Sequanset Hut. It's a solid name. We're now up above the category of like meh names. Sequanset Hut's a solid name. It's biggest thing I don't get about it is I'm pretty sure Bowden's a Pats fan, so I'm not sure why he has like a Giants fans fantasy team name, but I'll let him get away with that one. Next on the list is probably going to be my own Integrity. I think it's good. I think I'm going to change it to the Huawei Integrity, like the full thing. So it's a little bit stronger of a name. But obviously it's a reference to Huawei being a highly amazing company with much premium. Next, I think moving up the list is the Yang Chang Gang. It's a good name. I think it's a reference to like Andrew Yang, but maybe Zach can give me more info on that. Actually, I probably should have put that below my own. I'm not really sure why I put that one so high. I think it slipped by me. It's a fine name. I just don't really understand it. Yang Chang Gang. What's up with the chain? Why is Yang a Chang Gang? Anyway, seems a little bit political, which is weird for fantasy football, but I'm not judging. Anyway, next it's got to be Los Ingobernables. Los Ingobernables. I'll be able to say it eventually. Felipe, maybe you can help me out with the pronunciation of that. Pretty sure that's a luchador thing. Felipe, you might want to give me more info on that and why it's funny, but I like the name. I think it's funny within the context of fantasy football. Then I got to go with Sam Hinkie. Sam Hinkie it's a fantastic name for Gildan. Really couldn't have come up with a better name for himself. Big fan of the name. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Although the only thing I'll say is that you might as well just named it The Process. But the face shot of Sam Hinkie, like taken as like it looks like his Hollywood shot makes it pretty great. So I'll give him that one. And then coming in first place, of course, with the best name of all, is the Cream Dogs of Creamland, spreading their cream for all to see, because not only do they have the best team in fantasy right now, but the Cream Dogs is a fantastic name. Moving forward, let's talk about this league. So it's been a rough start for my team. It's been a great start for some people. Let's go through it team by team and let's see what I think of your team. I'm going to start with Bowden's team, Sequanset Hut. Sequanset Hut had a solid week last week. Big performances by Austin Eckler and solid performances all around. He's got really solid wide receivers. They're all going to get a lot of targets every week and get first downs, get the ball a lot. Sony Michael is a little bit questionable as a running back right now in this stage in the season, but I think he will be fine going forward. He's not very deep. He doesn't have any running backs except for Kenyon Drake on the bench, who's not exactly exciting option. So if one of his running backs goes down, he's in trouble. But besides that, I have a hard time finding any fault in this lineup. It seems like the kind of lineup that's going to put up like 120 points every week, super consistently. And that is problematic for other people. All right. Moving on. Next is my own team, yours truly. My team is kind of hot garbage right now. I think my wide receivers, I think the thing I'll qualify with is I think that my team will be better once the Green Bay Packers are not playing the Bears defense. I think whoever is playing the Bears defense that week, even if fantasy says that your player's going to get a lot of points, I think they're not going to get a lot of points, no matter who's playing the Bears. They're just going to get poop points. So that's just reality that we got to deal with. Probably should have sat my Green Bay players, but I probably wouldn't have done much better anyway. Besides that, Devontae Freeman, the other thing that really sucks for my team right now is, turns out everybody who bought into the Atlanta hype was wrong. Atlanta's offense should be amazing, but it sucks. So hopefully Atlanta can get their shit figured out here so I can start scoring some fantasy points, because otherwise I'm pretty screwed here. Le'Veon Bell's good at least, so I've got that going for me, which is nice. Anyway, moving on to Yang's Chain Gang. Yang Chain Gang has a solid lineup. It'll be interesting to see how Josh Gordon ends up performing week over week, especially once Antonio Brown enters the lineup, and he might get less targets. We'll see. Besides that, his wide receivers are a little bit thin. I don't trust Jarvis Landry weekly. I don't think he'll get super consistent targets. Terrell Williams had a great first week, but I don't think that the Oakland offense will be able to be consistent week over week. I think that Denver looked really bad yesterday, on both sides of the ball, especially on defense, which was surprising. So that hurts his chances. But he's got two fantastic running backs, Alvin Kamara, Marlon Mack. It's hard to beat that duo. I think both of them are going to put up a ton of points this season. He's got Tyreek Hill on his bench also, which helps his wide receivers a lot. But it's hard to say what's going on with Tyreek or how long he will be out for. Let's see what it says here. I think he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so it's not that bad. So with Tyreek back in the lineup and doing well, I think Yang Shangang is going to be just fine. Moving on to who is next? The Big Trubisky. The Big Trubisky's team is trash, just like Trubisky, like I said before. Unfortunately, Cam Newton, is he healthy? Is he really healthy? Did he look healthy on Sunday? Not really. So I'm not going to give Cam a lot of credit right now. The running backs, Joe Mixon looked like poop for the Bengals, but that could just be Seattle's run D is amazing. We'll see. The one saving grace of this team is Dalvin Cook looked incredible. But that sort of says what you need to know about this team, that Dalvin Cook couldn't carry Jock's team to a win this last week, despite a huge game, is not very encouraging for Jock's team. Choosing Denver's D was a big mistake. They didn't do poop last week. Mason Crosby didn't do poop. I mean, really, there's no one on this team that did decently. I mean, I guess DeAndre Hopkins had a good game also. But DeAndre Hopkins was his first overall pick, so if he's not, putting up 20-plus points a week, why did you pick him there anyway? Moving on to Chubbs Chug Jug. All right, here we go. Chubbs Chug Jug. Let's go through it. Let's check them out. Let's see how they are. Chubbs Chug Jug had a solid first week, but fell short. I think that his team could be better going forward. I'm not really sure why his team didn't put up. Oh, there we go. Jared Goff. Again, see, we're back to the same old story, Chubbs Chug Jug thinks that they got this amazing team, but really, really, really questionable decisions with the quarterback position. Could have started Felipe Rios. Just stick with Felipe Rios for the season, man. Jared Goff is inconsistent at best. Without what's his name out there, I just don't think Jared Goff is going to be putting up 4 touchdowns a game, 3-4 touchdowns a game, whatever you need out of Goff to get points. So I don't really trust him. I think that Travis Kelce is good, but is he really going to put up the kind of points that you need out of him at that position? Kansas City has that problem where you don't know who's going to blow up any given week. I think Kelce will be fine, but he's going to have low pointage weeks. And can you pick up that production when he's not around? The other big questionable pick was James Conner, which I'm pretty sure he took in the first round. James Conner had a poor week 1. Obviously, New England had a good run D, I guess, but really, Pittsburgh just looks like a mess right now. So, not looking great for him. But I do think that his team has a chance of turning things around.